Hi, everyone. Um, sorry. Dr. Victoria Scorbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. So I'm going to take a look. The other day, I did a numerology and Kabbalah and some astrology on Matt Gaetz, and just to get a better understanding of somebody who is in the public eye. Oftentimes celebrity or people in leadership or the people that are really out there projecting themselves into the collective in a large way always has something to teach us about ourselves. That's why they're there. So somebody like Matt Gaetz, who you might say, why are you bothering with somebody like that? And then today we're going to do Alexei Navalny, and so it's like he's a totally different persona, right? So, but I think what it's going to do is going to help us understand our world a little better. And so I'm going to try to do this as a weekly thing. Now, I think I did Matt Gaetz last week, but it could have been the beginning of this week. So, weekish kind of. It really just depends on how busy my life gets. And I don't have a lot of control over that, unfortunately. Okay, so, oops. I did brush my hair, but I left my brush for everybody to see. That's not cool. All right, guys, so let's take a look. We're going to look at Alexei's chart. We're going to look at his numerology. And I want to say up front, I don't really know that much about him. So most of what I'm going to say but not really. I haven't done, what I want to say is I haven't done much research on him. He's quite a character and a persona and a archetype. So I think this is going to be informative. And of course, I want to say up front, this is an individual who is making really the ultimate sacrifice for his country. So he loves his country so much that he's willing to do this. And so in that realm, from that viewpoint, this is done in a in a way of perhaps in educating or helping to make connections for people. It may just help people, understand a person like this. And he is in our consciousness because we have to come to terms with what we're willing to sacrifice ourselves for. Whether it be a person or a country or an idea. So there's that as well. And we'll see that in his chart. It's definitely in his chart. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start actually with his chart. Let me see here. I think this is it. No, this is not. That's not him. Navalny? No, Navalny. No. Don't have. All right, let's stop this share for a second. All right, sorry about that. I have his chart. I didn't pull it up. I have it in hand. I knew I was looking at it. That I have it in hand, and I didn't have it up on my. Let's see, it's Navalny's chart. But we're going to look at it. I just have to do a little technical stuff here. Let me do that. Okay, sorry about that. Here he is, Alexei. So he is a Gemini. And it's very interesting because there's been a lot of Gemini energy, right? A lot of Gemini energy. And the North Node at this time is in Gemini. And a lot of the leaders were in Gemini. And Trump was a Gemini. Pence was a Gemini. Ping is a Gemini. I think, was it Bolsonaro's a Gemini? There's a lot of Gemini in positions of power. And in a way, Navalny, but that power is mostly patriarchal, authoritarian power. And then we have Navalny here as also a Gemini, but on the other side of that, a willingness to love so deeply that he's willing to give up his life for his country. That is a love. And believe me, Russia needs love. Wasn't there a movie from Russia with love? But Russia needs love, and has been, we have our history here in the United States, a history of conquest and a history of, being the victors all the time and, decimating the natives and enslaving the Africans. But Russia has a different history. They have been traditionally the ones that have been put upon. The peasants, the regular folk, the people closest to the land suffer the worst. And it's all in the sort of the name of this patriarchal power. And I think with Navalny, it's a shift in that, with the more matriarchal, sort of feminine, bringing everybody together, love vibration, sacrifice vibration. We have in the United States, I think we have Biden as that energy of, giving up his retirement. He didn't really want to do it. He wanted his son to do it. He was dealing with all this grief. And yet he took on the, he decided that I have to do something about this. This is part of my destiny. And so, but, he's in his way giving up his life for his country, because the next 4 years, if he can make it, God willing, 4 years is going to be a real stress to his physical, mental, and well-being. He's I don't know, I almost feel like he's an empty shell of a man, but what that empty shell holds within it is a fullness of spirit that we have never seen from him, and that we need love too. And so we have these other people now coming into the consciousness of the planet, to balance that. So it's a profound time of shift into the moving towards the energy of the feminine. And so when we look at the future through the eyes of science, and in some cases through the eyes of spirit, for those who, the evangelicals think it's the end times. That's what they're shooting for, the end times. Yikes. No wonder they're so afraid. No wonder they resonate to Trump, right? I mean, he's fear. He's fear. He is as afraid as anyone could be. Narcissists are afraid. They're afraid of the let go. It's hard for them. But all right, so let's look at Navalny. Sorry about that, I got off on a tangent. So we have somebody who's a Gemini with a Virgo ascendant. And so when you have your sun in Gemini and your ascendant in Virgo, he also has his moon in Virgo. Then where Mercury sits, what is Mercury doing, becomes very significant, because it tells a lot about who this person is. The Virgo ascendant looks at the world as if to say something is broken and I have to fix it. And so what does it have to fix? We go to Mercury. Mercury is sitting there in the ninth house in Taurus. Fixed beliefs, perhaps. Fixed beliefs, his own fixed beliefs, perhaps the fixed belief of Russia that they will never, that they deserve to suffer in some way. That close to the earth peasant stuff is the feminine. And so, and in his way, I think Navalny speaks to the divine feminine, He is, I hope that he is able to survive this. But if he doesn't, and he may not, the message and the story is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so there is going to be, when I was doing cards with Marianne, I remember it came up that we both felt this feminine rising in Russia, and that there was going to be, a woman leader. But I almost feel like, and so we thought maybe Navalny's wife. But there is this could simply be the feminine. And instead of it being like with Biden's thing, right? With Biden's with all the people he chose in his cabinet and to fill all the positions, he filled them with women. And so what's happening is that even in America, the energy is shifting towards the feminine, towards the healing of the soul. And part of that healing has to do with the trauma that we have sustained as people coming from trauma. It's like, this is where the trauma ends. And that comes through the feminine, because the feminine is like, no, stop. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go against your nature as a human and be cruel and awful. You don't have to do that. It pulls it back in a way. And so, that's why I think, why I decided to even do Matt Gaetz, because I feel like he is really symbolic of the wounded masculine, right? To be such a jerk and, then be a jerk on the world stage. It's just like, why, but to show us, and to, it's like a little kid who is bad. There has to be discipline. There has to be a little, like, a little smack on the bum, or a sharp word, or a no, or something to stop them. Otherwise, the id just takes over. And we had 4 years of idiocy here. Which luckily is, there are parents in the room now. So that's good, because we needed parents in the room. But parents aren't there just to constrain us, but they're there to nurture us as well. And there is nurturance in the constraint. And we need to be constrained as a country, America. And Russia needs to come up and out. And I am not talking about a they're more powerful than us. No, I'm talking about a balance. So I think that, and I don't know how I got onto this thing, but here's his chart and here's the energy, and I feel like I'm reading it. This can be a opportunity for us to become more fair and not feel like we have to be the top banana. Like there's an innate distrust in life when you have to keep taking other people's stuff, and it's like you don't believe in love, you don't believe in abundance, you don't believe that something can just like fall from the sky and make your life better. You have to fight for it. You don't sometimes you have to fight, but sometimes you don't, and we're too one way. And I feel like this Gemini stuff, all this Gemini energy and all this transition energy and the balance. Okay, so I don't think I don't think I tied this end up. I feel like the energy of the divine raising of the feminine is creating this. It is a wave, like that is the wave that we're on. It's like a healing bomb that's going to come around the planet, but in the way it comes around the planet, there are certain things that it's going to disrupt, but it's not going to be the cracking of the structure. It's almost like it's an eroding down of the structures that are too pointy and sharp. Pointy, sharp, angular, that stuff is the mind. And it's not that we can't have a mind, because we need a mind, but we also need a body and we also need emotions. So it can't be all about the mind. So I feel like this wave of feminine energy that's coming through, and we'll have pockets of rage and pockets of grief and pockets of wonderful heart opening love and the joy of birth and the joy of creation, and all of that is the feminine. And people like Navalny and people like Biden and people like AOC and people like Bernie Sanders and Stacey Abrams, and it's people saying, hey guys, what are we doing, man? Eris, I feel like the asteroid, the minor planet Eris, part of her vibe that I've been getting as I've been working with her is that, she was considered spiteful and mean and nasty, and she would be on the battlefields with her brother Aries. And when she saw a wounded soldier, she would poke at the wound. And so she was seen as, what are you doing? But I think what she was trying to say to the soldiers was, is this enough? Are you done with this? Are you done with this ridiculousness, this pettiness? She's like come on, man. She's like the girl from Brooklyn, Seriously, that's Eris. She's poking at the wounds, right? And so Eris is in Aries, and she just had a conjunction with Venus, and she just had a conjunction with the Sun, Mercury. So she has something to say. Have we had enough? And let's see where Navalny has his Eris. So it's interesting that I should bring Eris up because he has it right here at 14 degrees of Aries. Now, Chiron is at about, is it 10 degrees of Aries? Hold on, let me look. I can look and it won't bother you. There's Chiron. Chiron, yeah, 1019. Chiron's at 1019. So his Chiron, no, not his Chiron. Hold on. Sorry, I went over to the other chart, so I got So his Eris is at 1409. And so Chiron is getting closer to that. And Chiron on Eris, I think, is going to be a big opportunity for us to do some pretty profound healing. Pretty profound healing. It's going to be a very interesting turning point, I think, for the collective, because Chiron is the wounded healer, and there's both characters are kind of in their own way misunderstood, and Chiron actually was a great teacher and taught many of the warriors, Achilles and such. So his energy was, teaching the art of war as well as healing. So he has that energy within him. And then she has the energy of being the, goddess that pokes the wounded soldiers. I just had a thought. I think Eris, poking the wounded soldiers, that's why so many soldiers were in the insurrection. I think we have to understand that. I think we have to understand why they were there and not try to weed them out, but try to understand why they were there. And I personally think they're there because they're tired of war. And they, but that's kind of all they know. And, it's kind of a weird morph thing with soldiers and stuff. But anyway, yeah, so I think that when Chiron gets on to 15 degrees of Aries, I think there's a big healing opportunity. And I'll have to let me write myself a note on that, because I want to look that up and see how that looks astrologically. I'm not going to do it now because I haven't even 15 Aries. I haven't done even what I said I was going to do when I started this video. So, so we know that this Mercury in Taurus speaks to me of the goddess, and speaks to me of the earth, and speaks to me of the insistence to turn away from the way we've been living our lives and come into harmony and learn to love one another. The earth is asking us to do that because that gives her power. And so there's there's times of destruction and there's times of creation. And I feel like we're moving from a time of destruction into a time of creation. And we're in the middle of this, and we're experiencing it, and we're witnessing it. And we have to do our work. We have to find out what it is that we're here to do and do it, because Mother Earth needs us. And we need her, and she needs us, and we need each other. So, wow. So Navalny, in his way, symbolizes this. Now, there's a couple of things in his chart that are worth noting. He has an opposition between his Sun and his Venus and Neptune. And in point of fact, let me see, 1443. 1443. So I even think that Neptune is maybe even exactly opposite the midpoint of Venus and the sun. And Venus is the planet. Venus is moving towards the sun in this chart. As far as his Venus, he is a morning star. He's a Venus morning star. But Venus was sort of Venus is under the rays. She's Cassimi here, right? But in a balsamic phase. So she is moving towards the sun, to her like fiery death and rebirth. So this is a spiritual rebirth for Venus through his chart. And then we have Neptune here in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the wild places. And it's Neptune and Sagittarius is the sacredness of the earth, of the wild places, of adventure, of that Sagittarian energy, right? We have the right to be free. We have the right to, to be abundant and to be optimistic. And it's like this coming out of this dark tunnel for them. It's in his chart. And he sort of embodies that. So it's very powerful. And whenever Neptune is touching a planet in your chart, that planet has the energy of the mass collective, the collective consciousness, the collectivity. And so Neptune is powerful. In a way, that's why America is so powerful. It has its Neptune up in the 9th house. But it's in Virgo, so it holds it back. But it's in an attempt to improve. It's just anyway. So he has this energy. The other thing is he has his South Node in Taurus and his North Node in Scorpio. It's about letting go, right? It's about letting go. This is transformation. So I feel like this life for him is a giant spiritual transformation. Just looking at his chart, he has Pluto in the 1st house. Pluto in the 1st house is somebody who is powerful and transformative. You hold the energy of Pluto, the transformer, in your persona, in your 1st house, in who you are. And he has that. And he has that in Libra. And so the power is about working together toward a new beginning, towards a new way of doing things. Very polarity point of Pluto in the 7th house. So that's powerful. That's powerful. So he is in his way and Pluto makes a trine to his Venus. So he has Pluto trining Venus. He has Neptune opposing Venus. Let's see, the only one where's Uranus? Is Uranus doing anything to Venus? No, not really. So, so it's powerful, but Uranus is in Scorpio. So that Uranus in Scorpio is transformational power at a root level. This guy is very powerful spirit, a very powerful spirit. I feel like I can feel his soul through this chart. And he's here to change things. He's here to change things at the ground level, to open it up and heal it. Yeah. Wow, it's a powerful chart. And he also has Mars in Leo square the nodes. And so the thing that might get in his way is his need to take action for his own ego. And I feel like him going on a hunger strike was his ego speaking. And I don't know if that was the best way to go. But I'm not judging that. This is his soul and his soul's decisions. But there's a certain, the South Node in Taurus. Taurus is life, and then there's the 8th house is death. And so giving your life up, right? Giving yourself up. But that's the South Node, and he needs to, quite frankly, I think it would be best if he survived this for his soul, and maybe for our soul as well. All right, so that's his chart. Now let's take a look at his numbers. I'm going to just pause this for a second, and then I'll be back with his numbers up. Okay, cool. So this is his numerology chart, and let me pull it a little bit closer so you can see. Oops, sorry about that. It's a little too close. I always do that. It's like all or nothing with this thing, really. Just don't have the finesse, I guess. All right. So his name, he was, first of all, he was born in Bhutan, I think, which is by the Ukrainian border. And so there is this energy, like he has that Ukrainian energy as well. It's not like, and the Ukraine is like, for some reason, a focus of power in Russia, right? That's, they went for the Ukraine, then the Ukraine is fighting, then it's like, and it was also the area that sort of came up with like why they wanted to impeach him and all that stuff that was going on. There's all that, working with Vlad and all that stuff. I mean, that's old stuff, right? That was happening. And now he's in power. So, well, anyway, let's not go there. This is Alexei's chart. Let's talk about him. Let's not talk about the other guys. So the other Gemini. His full name is Alexei Anatolievich Navalny. Sorry about the pronunciation. Oh, so when you add up all his vowels, we get a 60/6 vibration. That's the soul vibration. That's his inner feminine. The 6 is the number of responsibility. And so at the core of who he is, his soul is he is the soul of responsibility. And being held responsible, right? That's the energy. And when you add the 0 to a number, it brings the God force in. And so people who have the 0 in their name do bring through the force of God. And Biden's soul is a 50. AOC's soul is a 50. These people with the 0s in their Biden, I said Biden, right? Yeah. Are bringing through this energy, and Navalny is bringing through this energy through the 6 vibration. And so he is at the core somebody who brings their level of responsibility to almost like a godlike position. And that is, but that position is be responsible for yourself. Be responsible for what you do. Look at what you're doing. Responsible expression of power. Are you being responsible? So this is his soul, right? His soul vibration. Then you would take his outer personality, 51-6 vibration, right? This is his vowel, his consonants. This is his outer masculine. It's a 6 as well. That vibration is connected to Libra, the first decan of Libra, where he has his soul, Pluto. Pluto is like 9 degrees of Libra. That's within the first decan. So the soul of his chart comes through what he does, what his talent is. And this is legal. This is Libra energy. And so the Pluto in Libras as a generation is bringing forth and bringing through the soul of law. Instead of just the word of law, but the soul of law. That's what that generation is helping bring in. So he's part of that generation. He's got Pluto in Libra. So this is very powerful combination. When you add them together, you get a 12-3. This is his expression. I didn't, for some reason I didn't highlight it, but it's right here, his expression. You actually add this, right? These two numbers, and it's a 111. And then I add I take the first 2 as an 11, and I add the 1 and I get the 12, and then I get the 3. But this is 3 is the goddess, right? 111. To bring us to the 12, right? This is pretty profound numerology found in his chart. The 12-3 is the Hanged Man in suspended animation, unable to take an action, right? He practically put himself back into jail. This is the sacrifice. This is this energy. It's Neptune. He has Neptune opposite his sun and his Venus. So he is the veritable sacrificed God, we'll say. Sacrificed God. It's interesting because it's funny, I saw Biden as Jesus, and now I'm saying this guy is the sacrificed God. The son, that gets sacrificed, the Redeemer. And that is the vibration. This is the vibration of the Redeemer. This is located in the heart chakra. And so this energy redeems us. This is the same energy as Oprah's shadow. Oprah's shadow. And when you heal your shadow, it becomes what you're known for. It's like you open yourself up to the light. And so this is opening yourself up to your own soul. Overcoming all of this difficult life. And she had a difficult life, Oprah did. She did not have easy beginnings. And she overcame it all because she healed her shadow. And he has this energy of great healing of the shadow. But he's coming from it from a masculine side, because in this incarnation, he came in as a man. He didn't come in as a Black woman in America. He came in as a white man in Russia. So that matters, because that's what you have to work with, right? That's the situation you find yourself in as a soul. You're like, oh, okay, let's see, how do I How do I get what I need to get done in the best manner, the easiest manner, the manner that's closest to the flow of what I'm here to learn and love and all right, so his path of life. So far we have a 6, a 6, and a 3. And it's a 12-3, which is like 6, half a 6 plus 6 is 12. That kind of geometry here. And his path of life is a 33. 33 is the Christ consciousness. Hold on, let me read something to you. Okay. This is from a book by let me see if I can find it. By a numerologist by the name of Jean. It's Numerology, Spirit, Light, Vibrations. It's a great book. This was the original book. It's like big. They have a smaller book with the same information, and because this book now is really expensive. But I want to see what they say about the 33. I know it's in here. I should just look at it. I'm so bad. I never look in the index. I always like read through the book. Even now, I can't even find the index. How embarrassing. Does this have an index? Oh, thank God. It had a lot of stuff before the index. Okay, let me see here. I don't think I've ever looked at this index. Isn't that funny? 253. Okay. Sorry, this is kind of meandering, but this is definitely worth 253. Master of healing energies. 33/6 is the love vibration raised to its highest level, compassion for all. This is the master energy to bring the opportunity to master emotions. This requires self-sacrifice and sometimes martyrdom for mankind. Those on this vibration have volunteered to come in to help elevate the race to a higher consciousness, and we will be working on the love aspects. This vibration requires that all be sacrificed to teach, for the 33/6 is the teacher of teachers. Courage and inspiration from higher God energy results in tireless energy that inspires others. This energy requires that one must work hard without thought of self. Self-sacrifice and determination are the goals of this Master 33/6. Accept the responsibilities of this vibration and give service to mankind. There is a strong healing energy, the faith and courage to use it. There is an old proverb, he who would conquer the world must first conquer himself. Perhaps we all have to be willing to give ourselves up to the soul, right? Align the heart and the pulse with the planet and the highest God energy. Then serve to realign mankind's heart with the source. Inspire others to integrate the physical, emotional, and mental within the soul's higher will. This destiny is invoked with the group soul of the planet and closely connected to the Christ consciousness. This is a vibration of mastery on an emotional level. There is a sensitivity to suffering of the mass consciousness and the needs of the planet that can be the number of the Christ consciousness manifested on earth. So he is also a Christ figure. He is also a Christ figure. He is now, I think I can just pull it. He is now in 2020, starting on his birthday in 2020. Now his birthday is coming up in June. So this started back last June. He went into a 14-5 vibration. This was his personal year. The 14-5 is spiritual initiation. And so he is also moving into his 45th year this year. And his first name ends on his 45th year. And his second name, Alexei. Yeah, so this is Alexei. And then it's A. At 45, he goes on a 1 line. So, like I said, I think if he could survive this and make it to his something to happen, something to change and shift, I think it would be better. But either way, this is somebody whose soul is going through a huge initiation. And that's the thing, when these people take center stage, they're that which is going on in their lives becomes what we are seeing and experiencing. Like, they become a conduit for the collective consciousness. And he's coming to the end of a 9 line. And 9 is about the end, right? The end. The humanity, right? This is the Hermit card. This is Virgo. He has his ascendant in Virgo. Then he would go into Mercury. Mercury has Mercury in Taurus. If he survives this, it's better, because then what he has to say becomes Mercury in Taurus, into the ground, with this one focus energy. It's going to happen anyway. So even if he doesn't survive, and maybe that's not what he's to do. Maybe it's time to leave. But the thing, the feeling of, you guys, you have all this, you have everything. Where is your compassion for people who have nothing? That's really the question he's asking Putin. And he's asking all of us, because he is in this archetypical sweep that we find ourselves in, these archetypical energies. And we're a lot more connected to them because we're a lot more connected as people. I mean, yeah, our consciousness is connected. We connect online, right? That's why it's so powerful. That's why you have to put your light out there, because it's a powerful time. And the people who are not well-intended know that as well. And so, putting your light out there with the shield of love is important. But just don't forget the shield of love, right? Don't forget the shield of love. Let people love you. So this is a powerful time. Now let me share something else with you here. And this is his tree of life. Let me see. I know I have it here, because this is significant as well. Okay, so this is where his vibrations fall on the tree of life. And I'm going to bring it just a little bit closer. Hopefully you're seeing this. So his soul is here in Tippereth, place of beauty, associated with the sun. His sun is in Gemini, opposite Neptune. And so his soul, the world soul, the Neptunian energy, The cosmic consciousness flows through the sky, through his soul. His outer personality is quiescent, is up here in his third eye. This means that he has a talent. He has a talent for this vibration. This is the Libra vibration. The man was a lawyer, right? He was a lawyer. And then we have Uranus here. He has Uranus in Scorpio. That is a subgeneration, Uranus and Scorpio. Very, very powerful healers. Very powerful healers. And they are, and he has Uranus in Scorpio, so he's the start of that generation. What this energy that he's bringing forth is a start for an energy that's moving through that subgeneration, for those of you who have that. And I don't know the dates on that, I apologize. I'm still doing a video. But you can come in though if you need to.
No, I was just seeing where you read.
Oh,
Can you pause?
Yeah, hold on one second. Okay, hi guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Took a little longer than I thought it would. So we're looking at his tree of life. His soul sits in Tiphereth, the Sephirth of beauty, expressing the sun. It's the sun in the chart. So his sun is in Gemini. And so this is the facts, folks. This is what you're facing, folks. And you guys have to start working together. So he is, a way shower. His soul is a way shower. And from age 36 to age 45, which was 2012 to 2021, he's on this path here, the 9 path. And this is the path of the hermit. It's wisdom, it's humanity. And he is, gets to get off of this path when he turns 45, which is this year. And then he would go up here onto this path, the 1. So he may not. Again, I feel if he were to survive what he's experiencing now, it would I don't know. But this is the path he's on. And so he's connected directly to his soul even. This year, 2020, on his birthday, he went into that 14-5 vibration. This is here right up the center of the tree. This is the temperance card, healing, but need temperate action. And I don't know if going on a hunger strike, and I don't even know if that's really the whole story, of course, is temperance. It seems extreme to me. If he could come back to center, even if he chose to eat, but that's his decision, and quite frankly, none of my business. As a soul, that's his decision. This is his path. I guess we all decide for ourselves. Do we step away from the extreme and walk a middle path? How do we get there? And here we have his path and his shadow. That is something I didn't bring up. I keep saying that I feel as if if he were to survive this, And that might mean he'd have to eat, or I don't know, he's on a hunger strike. Or if he's just dying from the poison that he'd had before, did they poison him again? The path is what he's come to do in this lifetime, but it's also his shadow. And there can be this sense of martyrdom as a shadow for the 33-6. And it's the theme of martyrdom. Does he need to be a martyr to heal his shadow? Or is being a martyr the shadow itself? I think that's the question here in this. And it sits in Venus, his Venus, and he has Venus in Gemini. And so he loves his idea. He loves the idea. And he is willing to die for his beliefs, which is interesting because the North Node is in Gemini. The South Node is in Sag. And we have to ask the question, was it worth it for him? And so we have to ask the question, what are we sacrificing? What are we willing to sacrifice for what? It's really a opportunity to get in touch with your values. This whole thing, the whole energy of his chart and how it seems to be manifesting through him in this lifetime, from my perspective anyway. But in a way, he's doing this, whatever this lesson is that he's experiencing, and he's doing it in such a public way, is a great service to us. And I think that's true of somebody like Trump as well. It's a great service to us. Even though it created a lot of pain and sorrow. I don't know. I hope this man survives. I really do. He's an amazing soul. But either way, even if he doesn't, he is bringing Mother Russia out from under the oligarch's thumb and allowing the feminine to rise. Didn't Putin put the Pussy Riots in jail because their name was Pussy Riot? Right? Didn't that happen? So thank you, Alexei, for doing it for all of us. And I hope he does do well and is able to continue in this life, if that's his destiny. And if it's not, and it was just about, laying this path for us, then let's learn from it, right? Okay, guys. Thanks for hanging with me. I know this was long and meandering, but I feel like it was something that needed to be said and something that I needed to share with you. So I'm sharing. All right. Much love, everyone. Have a great day.